Alright, so I gotta make this brief because there's only about a minute until like the 15-minute mark, but I was sending Ralph that message to tell him that the clip off of the Kabbalah is what these guys, if there's a group of a dark elite group, then they're using Kabbalah and they're using the clip off. Now, the clip off is what most people think they use. Most people think they're satanic, Luciferian, dark magicians, depending on where you look. Some people just think Kabbalah is evil, and this is what these groups use. And there's regular people like me using it all the time, trying to help themselves transform and all that. So if you say, okay, well, maybe they're not using that one, but then they're using this one, and then you look at those groups, and they're not necessarily all bad either. So I was just going to send the general consensus was they use the reverse of Kabbalah, but that's not accurate either. And in my opinion, they're probably using both. That was the point of my last video. They're probably using both those. But in all honesty, they control the information. They control books. They control all that. So every book that's published, if it manages to squeak by them without them, putting a stop on it, well, the public has it, but so do they. But how many books do they have that we have never seen or known? So they probably have other systems that we don't even know. My main point in the last video was just that, they're using both light and dark magic, and that's how they stay in balance, and that's how they can do the things they do. You can, if there is something there and not something else that we don't know of yet, which is totally possible, but if you want to get away with having a greedy corporation that puts families out of business and makes them go bankrupt and all this, and yet you stay wealthy, and people don't understand how that's happened, and that's why sometimes they think there's no God and shit like that. But I can tell you right now how they get away with it. You take a bad deed, and then you do a really good deed also. And those two cancel each other out, and then you're okay. You don't have to worry about it. Or maybe you do more good deeds that don't hurt you as much as the bad deeds do. And sometimes bad deeds are just blessings in disguise. Teal said it in her thing, in that fearful message that I was trying to point out that she was fearful, but I also said she's got extensive knowledge, and it was just her perspective that was skewed. But if you move her perspective out of the way and you just listen to her knowledge, you would have heard sound information about the shadow, and sound information about how out of darkness comes the light. How normally the bad things spring on the awakening, the enlightenment process. Peterson says it, when you fucking fuck with malevolence, and everybody has to at some point. And malevolence takes something from you. It's why, was it Osiris? The whole one eye thing, that's the Illuminati? Well, no, he lost one eye because he killed his uncle, but his uncle got a piece of him. It's not an easy fight. You're going to lose something of yourself. You want to hope that there's still more that remains, but losing an eye is better than losing the fucking fight. You don't lose the fight, you don't lose the war, but you lose a fucking eye. You know what I mean? That's the symbolism behind there. Plus, it's manifestation. Plus, it's, what you focus on, you bring about. Stuff like, there's a whole bunch of meanings. A symbol is worth 1,000 pictures, and a picture's worth 1,000 words. So, none of these things just mean one thing. But this is what, that's the meaning, that's one of the meanings of that, you're going to lose something, but you're going to gain so much fucking more. And sometimes you have to lose something that you think is so off, you lose this, you're going to be dead. And some people do, they do kill themselves because they lost that thing. But if they just would have waited and went around to the other side, they would have realized that, shit, things are so much better now. And if it wouldn't have been for me losing that, I wouldn't have been able to get to this side. But I was able to get to this side, and now things are better. And that's why I'm not completely unconvinced that, these things aren't happening for a reason. Like, they most certainly are happening for a reason. Is it because we all manifested at the same time? Is it all because they're really trying to put nanotech in us? Is it just to turn us into enlightenment? Is it for us to finally put all our fucking petty differences aside and say, you know what? We all have to be on the same page. And it doesn't matter if we're satanic worshippers, or Luciferian, or fairy, or fucking witchcraft, or ceremonial magic, or the clip-off, or the Kabbalah, or Christians, or Judaism, or... It doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is we're not going to live like this anymore. We're not going to comply with these fucks that are trying to make us comply and see if we're fucking sheep. And maybe they pull out their guns and they kill us. And maybe they say, holy fuck, you guys finally passed the test. No one can know. because it's all potential right now. Everything is a potential at all fucking times. It doesn't matter if you can see in the future or not. Anyways, that was my message. Was that they have a book that they're using that we have no idea of. Does that make them more powerful than us? Right now, yes. Can we make our own book that they don't know about? Abso-fucking-lutely. Now, it's a little bit harder because we have cameras and TVs and fucking refrigerators that spy on us. But, you know, if you have one of the new iPhones, you can record a video, and the person watching the video, if they have an iPhone, they can be your live or not live, you just recorded it, and they can move the phone around and see all around your vehicle. One of the videos I recorded when the pandemic first happened, and I wanted the Bruce Lipton advice about the whole going into fear, fight, flight, turns off your immune system and puts the blood into your feet and your hands, so the blood's not where your immune system is, giving it energy, therefore you're not using your immune system. There was a doctor on a boat who was saying the same thing, who was a fan of Bruce Lipton, and his video was recorded like that. I was like, well, this is fucking cool. And then I thought about it, I'm like, no, it's not cool. Because, yeah, it's fucking a sweet effect. But that sweet effect is to fucking take your attention away to the fact that our phones, our computers, everything with a camera has that capability of looking everywhere else in your vehicle, in your car, in your house, while you think it's just looking at you. So Buddy is recording his video, and it's like this. He sees back his own face or whatever. Yet the person watching it can see his whole surroundings to a certain extent. You think they're not tapped into that all the fucking time, whoever's watching us? It's just, and they mask it because it's cool. First thing I thought of, you know? And it's like, wait a minute. No. This isn't cool. This is spy tech. This is fucking, you know. Anyways. So, first off, I apologize if I came off as a dick to Teal, because that's not right and fair, and I didn't know what she was going through. Nonetheless, even if she wasn't going through shit, or maybe this is even 3 years old, I don't know, I didn't check the date, I don't give a shit. But, first of all, I apologize, because, you know, it doesn't matter if she's going through shit or not. I shouldn't come off and do it, say anything maybe like what I said, but yet, I believe in what I said, so, you know, that's half of an apology, I guess. But, more than that, we can take up spirituality and make our own spirituality and be successful in doing whatever the fuck we want. And anybody that tells you that you can't manifest things right now to change what's going on is either in fear or don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And maybe it's both. Who knows? Maybe these people were enlightening so many people that they got cut a check to shut the fuck up, and maybe it's do the opposite. Maybe someone's kid's being held for ransom, and you don't know the circumstances. Anything can be possible. I highly doubt that, but anything is possible. So try to remain, you know, don't judge. You know, maybe I judged her a little bit, and that's not right. And, you know, what's sparking this is, like I said, I watched those videos about people blaming her for 2 young girls committing suicide, and I don't think that's fair to put that on anybody. And you know what? I love the way she defended herself in that thing. You know, some people might think that was insensitive, the way she defended herself. And you know, to each his own, but I think she's absolutely right. Somebody who's already contemplating suicide comes to somebody and then kills themselves, and you blame it on that person. That's just ridiculous. It's like whenever they blame Marilyn Manson for the Columbine killings. He was the only fucking person who said anything that made any fucking sense after that. He went up to him, you know, wanted to interview him, and he finally fucking does an interview with whoever, I can't remember who, and said, well, what would you say to the people that did this, the Columbine killers? He's like, I wouldn't say anything. I'd listen to them. They probably needed someone to talk to. And no one, not their parents, not their teachers, not anybody. Listen to them. And this is what happens. And then you blame me. Marilyn Manson is expressing his dark side, and he, through expressing his shadow and getting in touch with the darkness within himself, made millions. Millions. Tell me that's not a fucking benefit of doing your dark side. Like, you have to get in touch with that side. You have to, first of all, get a handle on your fears. You don't have to get rid of them completely, but that's not really shadow work. Shadow work is totally realizing the person you hate the most or think is the most evil in this world. Whoever's your embodiment of evil. Figure out how they are inside you. And you can say, well, that's Lucifer, that's Satan. Alright. Well, you might have to dig a little deeper, but Satan is actually within you. Satan's within everybody. Or a demon or whoever. Satan's technically an archangel who went bad. Archangels gone wild, you know? That's what the Watchers apparently were, or the fallen angels, or whoever you want to classify that as. But it's a fucking shit show, and it's a shit story that doesn't add up in my book. But whoever is your embodiment of evil, if that's Bill Gates right now, if that's whoever created coronavirus, if that's the Chinese, if that's Iran, if that's Canada, if that's me, then figure out how I'm inside you. You know, figure out how you are more like me than you're not like me. You need to fucking put yourself in the shoes of a concentration worker. Also, in my last video, I said, if a German concentration worker came here, so I don't want that to be misconstrued that I'm racist against any German people or anything like that. I meant if it was like 1939 to 41, when these atrocities happened, and I don't blame any German people for that. I don't blame anybody who's even related to any of the Germans that did that, because for all we know, reincarnation's real, and I was one of the German fucking people, and you were one of the people in the concentration camp. So, who the fucks know? And this is why we shouldn't judge. But, nonetheless, figure that out. That's the dark side work, and it's not easy, because you're gonna, you know, depending on how you are and how you learn and how you are able to do this, you're gonna have to fucking put yourself in uncomfortable positions. You're gonna have to, you know, if you're a fucking witch and you think that Christ and the church is the embodiment of evil, well, are you gonna go to a fucking church and listen to that shit? Are you gonna go talk to a priest? No. And nor do you have to. It definitely helps, but you don't have to. But you need to understand that how the person you hate, like them, how are you like them? How are you like the priest who is following a book that says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live? Sorry, my eyes are fucking getting tired again. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like something wants to talk through me. And anyways, I'm like, but how are you like the fucking priest that has the Bible that says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live? Well, in one way, you're both spiritual, or claim to be. You can both influence lots of people. Anyways, just, you know, you have to brainstorm these things, and it's not that hard to figure out what's the difference between someone who practices witchcraft and someone who's a priest, because there's priests and priestesses in witchcraft. So, you know, that's fucking vague and a shitty simile, but you know what I'm getting at. You gotta realize that these things are within you. What's the best way to make sure these things don't come out? How are you able to keep your control and your calm within the storm whenever shit's hitting the fan? So anyways, but yeah, if you do listen to that thing with Teal and Ralph, make sure you listen to her information and try not to just take her point of view on. Try not to just take her facts as complete facts, you know. And I got to regroup and figure out if I'm going to make more videos today or not. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed and have a great fucking day.